Hello everyone and welcome to the new math unit. We have a new math unit coming in, and the unit is called computation, which means addition and subtraction. The goal or the standard that teachers teach by are to fluently, which means easily, comfortably, automatically, smoothly, add and subtract to numbers less than 5. Now I am going to teach to that goal or standard, but I'm also going to do some drill down and go a little bit deeper to do some extra practice when folks need that, and you can choose one of those videos and those worksheets. The at standard means working with those numbers comfortably less than 5. Moving above that, I will stretch up to adding and subtracting to numbers less than 10, and I will challenge up and also go to numbers that have you adding and subtracting less than 20, and also stretching you beyond that to some 2-digit addition and some place value analysis of numerals with 3 digits in them. I'm not going to be teaching up to first grade work. The direction and the directive that we get from our bosses in the district is to teach with breadth and depth, which means to expand our work and to dig down a little bit in our work and not just go ahead and go to the next place. I encourage people to take a look at the 3 video series. I have work that's kind of geared for extra practice. I have work that's geared right about at the place where I'd be teaching for the majority or most of the class, and then I have some challenge work. And so I encourage people to take a look at the 3 different videos that I'm offering each day, I intend to offer, as well as the worksheets. There'll be some worksheets, a few aiming for 1 to 3 per day in each of those categories. And I ask for your patience and give me a few days to let the job get rolling. I've got a math book each day that I'm going to read. I have a friend who I'm going to bring in. This is Barry Beaver. Hello, Barry. Are you ready to work? Yeah. Ooh, you are really cute. Very ready to work on computation this week. Exactly. So Barry's going to help us out. I've got some read-alouds to work with. And then take a look at the work we're doing. If it feels comfortable, continue. If it's a little bit of a challenge, take a step back and try some of the practice ones. And if it feels really too simple, then take a look at the challenge or extra work over the course of the day or ahead. But there's lots of things you can do that will help us working. And so let's get busy. Ready? Okay, let's go. Now this week we have several things to take a look at. One of the first things I want you to look and hear from me. This paper is out there already, and it's called Strategies for Working with Math, and the different ways that you think about and use your brain when you're doing computation. Now there's mental math, that's when you're doing the addition, the subtraction, the computation in your brain. Mathematicians always check their work twice. It's just like people who work in construction. When they are working to cut wood or materials for their projects, they never measure and cut once. The rule is measure twice, cut once. That way they double check their measurements one time, and then check it again that it's equal. And if it's the same measurement, then they go forward. If not, and the measurements don't match, then they go back and find out where the difference is. And the same thing for mathematicians. They check their work twice before they tell someone what they're doing or their answer, or they make their work public. Keep that in mind. So you have mental math. Touch math is when you kind of tap and use your fingers to touch things and be sure you are counting the objects or the set counters you have in front of you. There's use your fingers, counting on and counting past. I'll help you with that. We have a number line. I'll be working with you with that this week. And put the numbers in your head and then add on. It's a computation strategy we'll be talking about. We have a tallies, using tallies or pictures to help you when you're working. Use a 100s chart, and people should have that. If not, I'll post one to be sure you've got that. And then to write a number sentence, and that's the equation things. I'll be reviewing all of those, but I would like you to be sure that you keep that in mind and even have that poster near you at different times. Let's talk a little bit about the vocabulary around what we're talking about. So let's talk here. I have a vocabulary card that says sum, that's the spelling S-U-M, not like some, like someplace or sometimes. Sum means add. And add, to find the sum, you need to add. And add means you combine things together. Like this number sentence is 8 plus 5 equals 13. That's called a number sentence, also called an equation. The math punctuation, and I usually use purple when I'm using my math symbols, the plus and the equals are symbols that I would do in purple, and I have a purple marker ready to use today as well. I encourage you to have a crayon or pencil. It helps make the operation symbols stand out. Operations are the 4 types of strategies and work that happens in computation. Addition is a math operation. Subtraction is a math operation. Multiplication is a math operation. Division is a math operation. If you've heard of addition, raise your hand. Good. If you've heard of subtraction, raise your hand. If you've heard of multiplication, don't have to do it, but if you've heard that word, multiplication, multiply, or you've heard the word divide or division, those are the 4 math operations. The 2 we'll be working with are addition and subtraction. So sum, that's this part. The answer, the after the equals, the part that comes, that means put together, that is called sum. These 2 parts are called addends. That's the 2 parts that when added together make the sum. Okay, so here's another picture of that. And it shows the sum is that part on the other side of the equal sign. Sometimes the sum is at the end. Sometimes the sum goes at the front. It would say 39 equals 15 plus 24. We'll be talking about that reverse process as we move along. Okay, that equals symbol is important, just like the plus symbol is important. And we'll talk about those. Difference or subtract, to find the difference is this part. It's the after equals that goes with minus or subtract. Those 2 words are used interchangeably, minus or subtract. Some people say take away too. To find the difference, I need to subtract. Subtract symbol looks like that, a single line. Subtract equals, and those again are 2 symbols that I try to make purple most of the time to help me see them and pop out. Okay, and here's this one again. You can see that part. The difference is the end answer after subtraction. Sum is the end answer after addition. Difference is the end answer or number after subtraction. Okay? Tools we will be using in this math journey are going to be several things that I've mentioned before. And I'm going to ask Barry, would you come on over and get us one of those things? Oh, good. Thank you. Dice. It would be helpful if you have, could I have a second one, Barry? Thank you so much. If you have 2 dice, I have some yellow ones. You can use whichever ones that work for you. We'll be using those to add things together and subtract things. So having 2 together, in about 2 or 3 days, we'll be using dice in our class, but not yet. Thanks. And then I have different tools here. I have some coin blocks we'll be using. I have some extra special dice with smaller numbers on them, and we'll be using those. Thanks, Barry. Something else that we'll need will be pennies. I'm going to hold it up here against the white paper. Pennies. I've sent a message to your family asking for you to have 10 of them. 20 of them if you can. You don't need them right away. I'm going to use them today as our sets for demonstration counting, but having a group of them, 10 or 20 of them, will be helpful for you during this week. I have some paper clips also. If you have something like paper clips at home, something small that you can use to do counting with will be helpful for you. All of those will help us be smart and be math champions. Okay, so I have some books to read. What I'd like to do is to read a couple of those now to get our brain warmed up to the idea of computation. Computation, addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. Addition and subtraction are our focus for the next many weeks. Okay, let's take a look at this one. This one is called Adding Frogs. It's by Liza Charlesworth. It's a good warm-up brain prod, adding frogs. One little frog is very blue. If you add a red one, you will have two. And right there it shows 1 plus 1 equals 2. That's how we would write the number sentence to show this. Two little frogs sitting in a tree. If you add a yellow one, you will have 3. 2 plus 1 more equals 3. Three little frogs on the rainforest floor. If you add a green one, you will have 4. 3 plus 1 equals 4. That's the number sentence of how this looks when we write that with numerals. Right? Word sentences, number sentences. 4 little frogs, hip hip hooray. Wow, they have a lot to say. Ribbit, 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 ribbit. Even in the colors of their skin. Okay. Now, I'm going to show a couple of pages from this book called Help Me Learn Addition by Jean Marzala with photographs by Chad Phillips. I'm going to use this throughout the week. I love this picture. Tons and tons of marbles. They're in rows of 10 in different math combinations. We'll be looking at that at other times during the week. That's actually lots and lots of addition right there. Help me learn addition. How many puppets look alive? We count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The number 5 is the last we say, so that's the answer. Hip hip hooray. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Can't wait. Count on 6, 7, 8. The number 8 is the last we say, so that's the answer. Hip hip hooray. 5 plus 3 more equals 8. And here, we like to count, but we are glad that now we're learning how to add. What is the answer when we add 0? It's what we had. Is that clear, O? Yes. So right here, 6 ducks plus 0 more is 6. And we would write that 6 plus 0 equals 6. What is the answer when we add 1? We count 1 more. That's it. We're done. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 plus 1 more. 6 plus 1 is 7. 6 plus 1 equals 7. That's the kind of math thinking we're doing this week. Okay, now I do have one page just as a warm-up. It's optional, do it or not. I have a counting stars one. A group that we have of objects together is called a set. S-E-T. Set rhymes with net and let and met. A set. Each time we're counting a group of items in any of our math work like this in computation, it's called the set. We're counting sets. And we add sets together to get a sum. We subtract sets and we get difference. That means the end answer in subtraction. On this page, just for fun and warm-up, if you count the set, then you find the number that matches and cut it and paste it up here, and then write that number afterwards. Just an easy, fun way of doing some addition preparation by looking at sets. There's a set of stars in each box in different amounts. That's to help us get started. Now our work this week is going to include working on a template that I have here that I'll use, and I'll move my camera and kind of move things around. And it's called an I have, you have, we have. I'll be using this. It's like having things in your hand. In class, we would have one of these by each student. I would put it on the projection screen so you could see it up front, and then I'm able to put things in my hand and put things in your hand, and then we add them together and find out how much we have. And then we write that number sentence, plus equals and that gives us the number sentence that tells the answer to this combination, this addition, this story problem. And if I make up a story to go with it, then it becomes a story problem. How many do we have? Or how many left over if we do subtraction? How many altogether if we do addition? I'll be using this in just a little while. I'm going to start with a very simple, easy to work on page like this for everyone. And then I do have a challenge paper for those who want to do a little bit more and a little bit quicker. And in this, there's 3 addends instead of just 2. Very often, almost all of our addition work will be with 2 addends. Sometimes I'll do 3, but I'm going to put this up as the challenge one. And there's a number line on top to use it if you know how to use a number line. If you don't, you can be watching. I'll be doing that in just a few minutes. Okay, I'm going to do a lesson page in just a minute. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Barry.